everyone, today we will be discussing about process. As we have discussed earlier about operating system, what is an operating system, how it works and what are the parts of an operating system. Today our main focus will be on process. What is a process and if there is any difference between a process or program. Mainly application and an application or application software and specific process. The only difference is that a process is known as the smallest unit of the executable. When we are talking about a system software, let's say as the operating system, that's a system software. Operating system is a system software. So here, and if this is an operating system, the operating system package, be it Windows or Linux, there will be thousands of modules in an operating system. The total operating system is divided into thousands of modules depending on the size of the operating system. Let's say if we are talking about damn small Linux, which is only 60 MB package, in that case there will be only few modules available. Only few modules will be there in case of damn small Linux, because when we are talking about damn small Linux, we are referring to that system, the minimal version of a computer operating system. Then it should have only those numbers of modules which are actually required in order to run a computer system. So if we are talking about the hardware part or system software or application software or any kind of larger programs, they will have many modules. Too many modules will be there for big systems, and in case of small systems, the system I am referring to, application software or system software, there will be, for small systems there will be few numbers of modules, and each modules are connected to the next module. All of these modules are connected to each other, provided that that follows the programming purpose. So right now, let's say this is the operating system and it is divided into too many parts. And in case of DSL, let's say we need only, this is a full-sized operating system which provides you too many modules. Too many modules means many sub-programs or facilities or features you will get in a full-fledged operating system. But in case of DSL, you will get only the required modules. Let's say this module is required, this and this also. These three modules are required in order to make this system useful. So this is the case of DSL. Only required modules have been used. So the size automatically gets reduced. So the size is automatically reduced in case of small systems. So right now, if we are talking about process, what is a process? A process is nothing but the smallest unit. A process is smallest unit of an executable. It means, first let us see the system software and application software. Those are actually big programs. When we are talking about a system software, then we are actually referring to an operating system or some kind of device driver. Now this is a new term here. What is a device driver? This is also a kind of system software. It will also sit on the it will also do some low level manipulations. We will talk about that later, but right now let us consider only what is process? A process is the smallest unit of an executable. It means, let's say if we are talking about this operating system, this will have many modules, and one or more modules make a standalone program. Like say if we are talking about a calculator program, this total application or application software, we are calling this application software because it has specific application to calculate numbers. That's why we are calling this program a calculator. So this application is an application software. Let's say this application is divided into 6 modules, and 6 modules are making a standalone program. When these 6 modules are integrated together, they are making an application software or a standalone program. Now, so what is the difference between a program and an application or a system software? A program is an interchangeable word with an application, but not for all the time, because let's say this is a program and its job is to do some specific work like the application software does. This will do this is a calendar application, so we are calling this a program. This can also be divided into many modules. Let's say there are only 4 modules in case of calculator program. So this is also a program, and this can also be called a program. The main difference is that I'm putting this in simple words. So the main difference between a program and an application software is every application is a program, but not every program is an application. It means when we are talking about an application software, if we are talking about Microsoft Word, it provides you the document application, the spreadsheet application, the PPT application, and few other features also. Those are also programs. So we can say one or more programs make an application, and one or more modules make a program as well as an application. Now let us see what is a module. Before you have proper understanding of a process, you will need to clear the concepts of module, then the program, and then the application software. So first, now coming to the module. What is a module? Module is an incomplete file in nature. Cannot be executed alone. So these two are main properties of a module. That is a module. When we are talking about a module, then that module file itself is an incomplete in nature. That is not complete. And the second one is cannot be executed alone. It means, let's say we have this script or a program source code written in a language, and there are some statements or instructions there in this file, and now this file is incomplete in nature. It means for every program written in any programming language, that program should have some boilerplate codes. Boilerplate codes mean the common parts of source codes which comes into any file, any program. Means consider here one thing. Let's say this is the file, and the first 2 or 3 lines and the last 3-4 lines, they are mandatory for every program we are writing. So they are the common part, like header and footers. They are common for every program, and for in case of the headers, there will be we will be importing few packages when required. If that is not required, but the basic for any programming language, for procedural languages, structural languages like C programming, you will need to include the header files for input output functions. For using those printf, scanf, you need to include those stdr.h, and for C++ conio.h, those files are required to be imported at first. So that comes under a boilerplate code, means those are mandatory for any program. And then you have your own logic, your own set of instructions, but those import statements are required for every program. So if there is if the total program is complete in nature, if this source code is complete in nature, then we will call this as program. If this source file or source file, I'm calling this, we are writing a source code into this file, and if this source file is incomplete in nature, means it doesn't have those boilerplate codes, those required codes. And incomplete in nature means the programming structure and the program itself is not fully written into in this file. Then we will call this or refer this to module. Module means just a part of a full working program. Let's say consider the same example. Let's say we have another script which is we have two parts in this program. In order to work, we in order to execute this program, we just have to include these two modules. So these two modules are combined together here, and they are making a standalone program, and this is understandable by the operating system so he can execute this program. So in this case, this is module A and module B, but this was a module, and here in this case this is a complete program because two modules are required and there are two modules. So actually modules are not write some program, module is not required, but provided that you are using all those required codes, those boilerplate codes on your own. If you do not use the import the module, let's say I am not importing, B is a separate file. Let's say B is a separate file and not combined here. In that case, we have two modules here. A got its own codes and B got its own codes. And B contains some boilerplate code and A contains my own codes. Specific to my own requirements, I have written a program here, and B is a boilerplate code. But in order to make this program make this module, right now this is a module because this is not complete in nature, so I am referring this as the module. This is not executable by the operating system because this is just a part of a program or a incomplete file. Here it is a part of a program or an incomplete file. So in order to make this happen, make sense, we need to integrate the B which contains the boilerplate codes here. So A and B both will make a standalone program, and further it will be understandable by the operating system. So now we have two options doing that. To integrate the boilerplate here, we have two options. Let's say this got 100 lines of codes. 100 lines of codes. We can either copy all those 100 lines of codes and paste them to here in my own file or my own module. Then those boilerplate codes are now a part of my module. So the thing is actually similar, because when we were actually integrating the B under the A like this was also making a standalone program, But we have another way of integrating this module, B module, that we whatever code, boilerplate code we have inside the B file, we can copy them all and place them here in my own A module. And finally, in that case, there will be no B module, but the contents of the B module, and this will be the A program, because we have the boilerplate codes. But one thing we should take care of, that is the boilerplate codes we should organize into my own file as they should be, as they are expected. Because let's say this boilerplate should come at first before the A, but we are copying, but we are pasting them after the A, or not before the A, then they will not work. Then it will not work. It will be a it will not make any sense. This is not a program. This will again be a incomplete file, and hence not understandable by the operating system. So like that, we can have thousands of modules involved in a program. So by now we can say, we can come to a conclusion and make a formula that should be, if we have, let's say this is a module or incomplete file, if we have more than one module, and when we are talking about module, means a source file but incomplete in nature and cannot be executed alone. So now let us think that we have two or three, or any number more than one modules. We have more than one modules, but they are, when combined, they are making a standalone application. In that case, they will be called program or app. And app is again interchangeable with the application software term. And what is a program? A program is the same thing. According to the formula, there is more than one or more module which are combined together and making a standalone program, provided that they are making a standalone program. But it can be happen that there are many thousands of modules combined together, but they are not making any standalone program. In that case, we will not tell them, or we will not call them as a program or application, because they are not making any sense. They are not making any standalone program. So provided that modules, when combined, are making this program or application. There should be more than one module, because if there is only one module, it means the module itself is an incomplete in nature, incomplete file, cannot be executed. If we have equal to one or more than one programs, and here also provided that programs are independent of each other. If there is only one program or more than one programs grouped together or packaged together, as per Microsoft Office, MS Office, we have Word, we have Spreadsheet, we have PowerPoint. So these three are programs, and standalone programs. We can execute the Word without the help of Spreadsheet and PowerPoint. They are not dependent on each other. That's what I'm saying here. Provided that in order to satisfy this formula, provided that programs are independent of each other. These are the programs and they are independent of each other, and the formula will be if there is only one or more programs, they will make an application. This is application. We have three programs here, and these three programs, they are actually making when combined together, they are actually grouped into a package. This is a package where the package comes with contains three applications, and if the word is being a part of the spreadsheet, or spreadsheet is being a part of the word program, then they are not separate in nature. Then they are actually in true sense, then they are actually a divided program, like that module. So when they are provided that programs are independent to each other, when they are not dependent on each other, when they are actually separate, when the word program doesn't need the spreadsheet in order to be executed, it can communicate to the spreadsheet. That is okay, but word is not dependent on the spreadsheet, or the PowerPoint is not dependent on the word or spreadsheet. They can communicate, but they are not actually dependent. They are independent of each other. So in this case, the program, if there is only one, in this case of three, more than one, then they are actually making an application. But also this is also called an application, and when there are more than one modules, and when combined they are actually making a standalone program, then also that is called a program as well as an application. In the next case also, if there is only one program or more than one programs, and provided that they are independent of each other, then we can call them, the group can also be referred to an application. The group can be also called an application. So now, what is a process? A process is the smallest unit of an executable. Smallest unit of an executable. For the module is also the smallest unit, but that was incomplete in nature and is not understandable by the processor. And more than one modules, they were actually sometimes they were actually making a standalone program. Not the all time. There could be thousands of modules combined together, but they are not making any standalone program. But for many cases, it depends on the intention. Let's say thousands of modules are combined together, but they are not making an executable or a standalone program, but it only lacks one module to fulfill the ecosystem. Let's say we have only thousands of modules grouped together, but they are waiting for only one module. It's like a puzzle. When the last module is grouped into this and makes 1001, then all of them will be again fulfilling or satisfying the ecosystem, and they will make a standalone program. In this case, the process is totally different than the module or program or application. In case of process is known as the smallest unit of an executable. So what is an executable? An executable is that element which is being executed by the processor, or we can say which is understandable by the processor. As for the program, a program is obviously a standalone program. Program is a standalone program, that is executable or understandable by the processor or CPU. So that's executable. That's an executable. The application, either one program or many programs grouped together, that makes according to that formula p greater than equals to 1. According to that formula, if there is only one or more than one programs combined together, and provided that they are independent of each other, not dependent on the other program, then they will form uh, means they are, when they are in group or comes in a package, they will actually make a package. Or when the formula was, when there is greater than equals to 1, p stands for program. When there is one or more programs grouped together or packaged together, but they are independent of each other, or means they can communicate to each other but they are not dependent on each other, then they were called application. So when there is more than one programs combined together, there it doesn't make sense to call them or refer to that package or group as program, because if there is only one program, then it's better to call that a program. If there is more than one programs grouped together, then it's better to call them as application. That the whole thing as application. And smallest unit of an executable is known as the process. So the program that is understandable by the, not module. Module is not understandable because that is incomplete in nature. So process is a program, and the application means a collection of the programs, or a single program, that is also known as an application. They are all understandable or executable by the processor, by the CPU. But in this case, so those are called executables, or yes, this part, the programs, the applications, and they are known as the executable. And then if they are known as the executable, then what will be the smallest unit of an executable? That is known as the process. So process life cycle. Process life cycle, first is the start, or the life or stages that comes in a life of a process. The start, then ready, then running, then waiting, finally termination or exit. So let us discuss them separately. We are talking about process life cycle, means the process is known as the smallest part or the smallest unit of an executable. While the executable was any program or any application. Application means we are referring to collection of programs. A single program can also be called an application, but to make the things clear, make the things simple, just simply put that an application is the collection of programs, and a program is just a program. That's only one thing, and a program is only one thing. A program, when we are talking about a program, there is only one program. And when we are talking about applications, then this can be that we are referring to that program. We are calling that program also the application, but when we are actually have a separate word. Why we have application separately? Because application means that it refers to the package, the group, the combination of programs. So that was the executable, and the smallest part of that executable was the sub executables, the smallest fragment of an executable. And the process life cycle means the life cycle of that smallest executable is the start, ready, running, waiting, exit, and termination. Means let's Just consider, suppose we have this office application. This is Word, Excel and PowerPoint, and this is the MS Office app. MS Office app, and we have Word, Excel, PowerPoint. So these are all individual programs. And let's say we are loading in the Word. We have double clicked in the Word, or have started the Word from the run option. So we have the Word itself is a program, so which is executed, and this is further divided into sub executables. So this list can be longer. The smallest fragment after dividing the every executables we get, we will have like this. We can again and again we can divide the system, the executables, and finally we will get the final the smallest executable, means which is actually can be executed by the processor. Means this cannot be a module. A module is different thing. That module comes under the programming part, and these things come under the execution part. So this will be the executable. We may have many sub executables following the arrows, and finally we will have the smallest executable, which is also sub executable, but that is understandable or executable by the processor solely. Means that will not be dependent on something, that could be executed solely on its own by the processor. So that will have the smallest executable, or the, as we are talking about process, which is the smallest unit of the executable, will have this life cycle stages. The start means when we are about to start when we have loaded the executable, the smallest part of the executable into the RAM, and is ready to go to the processor for execution, and have also reached the processor and just about to start the execution, being executed, just about to be just waiting to be started for execution by the processor. That stage is known as the start. And ready means in the ideal stage, when the processor has executed, when just remember the time sharing or scheduling, or that multitasking operating system concept, where the operating system comes into his responsibility to allocate the processor power and memory to every application or every program or executable. So similarly in this case, the first stage is the start. After executing the process for few microseconds, it will switch to the next process. So that time this will be in ready state, because it is waiting for its next turn. Now the processor is giving its power, and memory is giving its memory to some other process. Now it is in, and this process is in ready state, and when again the processor power and the RAM, primary memory, is again allocated to the gets back to this process again, then this will come into running stage again. Just remember this part. This was the operating system, and this was the applications on the top of the operating system, like A, B, C. These were the apps. Apps means the collection of programs. So if we explore more, let's say this is A could be, let's say this is the program. I'm just writing this as P. So we are referring to this program as application, and the next application is B. A program and application, both are interchangeable words. So let's say this is the application, and the actually this is not a true application, this is a program, but we are calling this program as application. So the next thing we have B, which is actually a true application, means it got PQR, P, Q and R. PQR, these are the applications or programs which are P. So at the end, let's just talk about A and B. Either this will be more complicated. So we have four terminals here, P, 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 P. All are these are programs, and this can further be. Let's draw a clear diagram. Let's say A program, A, and B a application, A an application. We can also call A and B as applications, but A only has one program, so it's better to call this a program. P means program, and B it contains actually three programs, so 3 P's or 2 P's. Let it be just two programs. So both are applications. The one is a the first one is a not true application because it's just a program, and when there is only one program, it doesn't make sense to call that an application. So just let's consider this is a program, and the B is an application where we have two programs. A group of two programs is the B. Now, so these are the executables. These P's are the executables. But as we are talking about process is the smallest unit of an executable. Let's say we get 4 units, 4 processes from our program. Let's say process P, Q, R. Again this program ST, and this is only one, so STU. So actually now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 processes, the smallest units of executables. So now we have the operating system, which is our daily operating system, Linux or Windows, which is multitasking or time sharing operating system. Now it comes under its responsibility to allocate the hardware CPU and the RAM, to allocate the CPU and RAM power to each of these applications, like this. Each of these processes or smallest units of the executables, like this. So it will perform the switching, the first switching. So the first stage, as the process has been loaded into the allocated to the CPU and RAM, then the stage is called start. Next will be ready, means after running for few microseconds, the operating system will perform some switching or scheduling concept comes here. Then that application will have to wait for its next turn, so then it will be ready. After that it will be running. Again that running, because whenever the running can also come before the ready, because ready happens, or ready is that cycle, that stage when the processor or RAM it's not giving its power or time to that process. Then the stage will be known as the ready for that individual process. And when they are giving the CPU and RAM giving its power to that process, individual process, then it will be the running stage for that specific process. After running, there should be waiting. Waiting means that process, that specific or individual process is waiting for some user interaction, means some user input or some other, depending on some other process. So that cannot be executed because that has finished its execution to some extent, and now it's waiting for some other things to be happen. So that stage is known as the waiting. That process is waiting for user interaction or some other task to be completed before it can do any further. So that stage is known as the waiting, and after waiting there will be termination. As the user or some task or some event has been happened, or the user has given his input to the process, now the process will perform the rest of the its duties, its jobs. The process is meant to perform some actions, sorry, provide or to uh, to give instruction for something to do. So as that thing happens, then the processor will and these the common stages are the ready stage and the running stage. This will come for many times. They will come for, they will be happen, they will be called for many times, because the ready stage will be when the switching performs, when the operating system performs the switching part, then the process will just go the ready state and coming back to the running stage. When the processor is giving time to the processor RAM is giving its power to some other process, then it will be in ready state, and when the processor RAM is focusing on that particular process, it will again be the running stage. And waiting is for when it is waiting for some other event or like user interaction or things like that, then this stage will come, the waiting stage. And after the user interaction or that particular event has been happened, or the thing has happened which it was waiting for, the process was waiting for has happened, then it will do the rest of its jobs. And the job is nothing but just giving some instructions or executing some statements through the processor, using by the help of the processor. So after finishing its job, it will come to the termination stage, where the process has finished its work, and the whole thing, the memory, the memory means all the variables we will know in later sessions. So variables mean just put there the things related to using memory. Variables are the names given to a memory locations. Mean these processes, every process, most of the process, by any means they will be manipulating the memory locations. Like allocating, when we are using two variables, two numbers, they will be all be stored in the primary memory's allocation table. There will be the whole memory is divided into many thousands, in millions of cells for larger memories, and all those memory locations, each of those locations are known as a memory location, and variable is a name given to those memory locations. So every process by any means they will be manipulating and using those memory locations. So as the process finish its execution, those memory locations should be cleared. All those memory locations that were being in use by that processor, they were blocked by those processes, by this process. So when the process comes into the termination stage, then it's again a responsibility of the operating system to clear all those memory locations that were in that were being used by the by these or any particular process. So this is a total life cycle of a process. The application is divided into programs. Programs means the executables, and the executables are further divided into sub executables or standalone, and but they must be standalone. If they are not standalone, they are not executable or understandable by the processor. So when I am talking about sub executables, means they are not like modules, incomplete things. They are not incomplete things. They are executables. So, or they are available to be executed solely, or they are standalone uh, processes. So the OS will perform the switching between this PQR, STU, these processes. This P stands for the program, and this PQR, STU, these are the processes, and these are the life cycles: start, ready, running, waiting, and the termination. So this is enough for this session. Next we will be talking about the shell programming, how shell programming helps the in developing applications. Using the shells, we can manipulate all those APIs, native APIs. As I discussed earlier in the kernel operating system part, the shell will provide you APIs, native APIs, to manipulate all those uh, hardware things or all those low level things, as it provides a layer of abstractions. As the abstractions, the layers keep adding up to the higher level, the number of APIs will get reduced. Again, we will see those things in the later session. Let us finish here. Thank you for watching, and let me know if there is any doubt. I will try my best to clear them. Just let me know in the comments or in the email, or by any means you can reach me. Thank you for watching.